Yeah. Hi all, good evening. Yeah. Uh, we have seen these concepts, right? Introduction to Angular, TypeScript fundamentals. We have seen components, binding, how we do that, and component APIs, how we call one component to other component, passing values from one component to other components. That we have seen that, and now we have seen that Angular directives also, as we have seen that star ng if ng for ng speech, and that we have seen that. What I am telling you guys that whatever the minimum stuff you would require to work on the Angular projects, we have been covering of it, right? From the zero to some certain level. Okay, from the so with this information you can start working on the projects. You can explore more on this while working on the concepts. Okay, this is overall idea of this training session. It is not a kind of end to end. Got it? So we are working professionals, we are not students. Okay, so you keep in mind that whatever the basic information we have, or certain information which we have, we should not stick on that information only. You should not have mindset, oh, complete Angular, this is one, this one. Okay, we should extend. There are many things also is there. Okay, so but I'm confident about it. The people who completely understood these basics and practiced without any problems, they can work on the Angular projects. Okay, so that's depends on your practice and your understanding that how you can work on the projects. Whatever the necessary basic things we are providing you, that much we can do it. Right? Okay, fine. Now we have seen that how to build the components, how to communicate with the one component to other component, how bind the data into the component, how to manipulate that DOM component, DOM elements. That all stuff we have seen that. But till now, what we have seen that the data which we are, working with the static data which we, have it in some collection variables. But ultimately, we should get the data from the data source, right? We should get the data from the data source, and whatever the data is coming from the data source, we should get them through some service or some logic which you will write, and you have to play on the data in the Angular. Basically, Angular is a front end developer where you are working on that front end view part of it. You can play on the data, whatever the data which is coming from the database or service, you have to play on the data based on your need. Okay, so that's all about the Angular. Of course, we are not sticking on that. There will be a chances you have to build once the data is coming to you. You have to build your logic also, right? That's where we can create separate layer called business layer, or some logic file. You can create the TypeScript file where you can write complete logic of your application by using the data. Okay, so how to write, that OOPS concept, that, right? And how to implement the OOPS concepts in TypeScript, we learn it. That is not a big deal. Okay, okay, we just need to create extra file, and you have to build the logic, required logic. There you can define your classes, your methods, and that stuff. You can call them wherever it is required. Okay, so that you can do that. Now the thing is, how to consume the data from the database. That we will look into it. Okay. So Angular services. So the session goes to Angular services. Service is the class which provide you the data for your Angular components. Okay. Whatever the data to be displayed on the component, that data can be get it through the service. Okay, so don't think that service is a separate thing. Service is also a TypeScript file, .ts file. Okay, so there we will write the code how to get the data from the database. So that class here in the Angular, to signify one TS class as a service, Angular is providing that some command to create the service file. Okay, using that command you can generate that service file. Normally when you create a component, how many files we will get? Three files basically, one additional file come which is internally can be used. Four files we are getting it, right? Like that, when you create a service, Angular is creating two files for you. Okay, so those that 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 two files, one file is the main one. Okay, in that file you have to write your service calls. So then what is the need of service? Then let's assume that uh, it is a class with L-defined purposes. That purpose, you know that we should get the data from the database. Okay, do something specific and do it well. Okay, Angular distinguish components from the services to include the modularity and the reusability. We can reuse that service, right? How we can reuse? Uh, let's say we have three components. We have component 1, component 2, component 3. Three components displaying the data, same data. Employee information, it is displaying in the three components. But if I want to change the data, okay, what do I need to do? We have to change in the three components, right? This is a repeated work for me. If the same data which we are showing in the three components, if I want to make a change on it, I have to do three files. But we can avoid, we can maintain the data in one file. We can use that file in the three component. Then if I change in the one file, it can be automatically reflected to three components, right? That is called service which we are using it. Okay, got it? Yeah. So to create the service, uh, uh, normally how we are creating the components, component name, we are giving that components.ts, right? To this is a naming convention, it is not mandatory to follow. Normally we should follow this one. So that service name you give, and service is the other keyword to specify that that is a service, and .ts. Okay, even Angular also will do it for you the same. Okay, next one. Do you know that dependency injection? Did you heard about it? Dependency injection. Yeah. So basically, let me explain you. There is a class, what I can say, engine. Right? Class engine. and I have one constructor. And there is a class tire tires. Okay, so there is a other class called car. Okay, so here there is a variable private something x. This is the syntax, right? We follow in the Angular. Yeah. So this is thing like that. Okay, I have this class. If I want to use this class in my car class, because car contains many parts, right? Like engine, tires, doors, all the stuff it can contains, right? If I want to use these two classes, how can I use here? Huh? Just I'll create object, right? I'll create object. What I can do, I'll create an object of this engine. Okay, and create a object of type. So what I have to pass here, x and y. Here also x and y. I should pass, right? Okay. So if I want to use this car class, car is depending on this engine and tire, right? Because let assume that the case, a car cannot have the same engine always, right? There might be a different horsepower engines are there, right? Okay, there might be a different tires the car can contain. So always I can't use the same tires class right here. Maybe tire today they told us my tire class is this one which is having two parameters. Tomorrow they will say that it will be a three parameters. Okay, A, uh, private A and string. Then will this class will work? It will not work because this class is dependent on this got changed. So I have to change it here also. But I don't know this guy has changed or not. Then my car will not work. Right? So this is called, you know, dependency on other class. To avoid this, there is a design pattern called dependency injection. Dependency injection. This is one of the design pattern. You know that, right? I think Bala and these ODC people knows the design pattern. I don't know you guys know design pattern. So there are many design patterns is there, which is not a object-oriented programming. The design pattern is a solution to your recurring problem. By using your object-oriented tech concept, you can avoid your recurring problem using the recurring solution. So in that, dependency injection is one of the pattern. So Angular is following the same thing. That's what I am explaining this. Okay. So how we can avoid this? What I can do, instead of calling this, okay, what I will do directly, my constructor will call, I create a variable, my engine The type of engine. Okay, and one more thing, my car tires, type of tires. Okay, now I'm see what I am saying, just I am calling this class over here. Here also I'm just passing this class as a one variable. I am declaring a type of this class. Here also I am declaring a variable of type of the engine. I am not, passing parameter of the object, of the class object. Okay, it doesn't matter how many parameters got, how many members got changed in this engine class, in this class tires. I don't matter about it. I'm directly point to that class. So when the Angular runs this class, first what it will do, any class object created, first what it will run, when you instantiate an object, first what method it will be executed in your constructor, right? So when the constructor is executing it, then Angular will understand that there is a dependency with this constructor. Then Angular will understand that there is a dependency. First it will clear the dependency. Okay, how it clears? So this will know that engine is a class. So it will understand that, oh, internally it's has to create an object of engine, and that object it will be assigned to the this variable. Okay, so like that, the same. How many classes you have, you just need to use it. That's it. This is how that Angular will overcome the dependency injection. Okay. So why I am explaining this? Now in the service we have to use the same concept. Okay, understand? Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yes. First it will create the object for this engine. Okay, and then for this class, first clear the dependencies. Okay. Yeah. So what I explained, the dependency injection, the same components consume the services basically. Okay, by using the dependency injection concepts. Uh, Dependency injection is a coding pattern in which class asks for the dependency from external sources. So external sources means it dependency injection is creating from the external sources. It is not creating it. It is not creating itself, right? It is not passing parameter itself, right? The car class, it is taking the dependency from other sources. Okay, that is what this definition is, that it follows the singleton pattern. This is one of the pattern. I should explain you. You know that a depend singleton pattern. I think most of the people, some of the people I know that. So I'll explain you. So some of the people don't know that, right? Single. This is also one of the single pattern. Uh, Singleton pattern. So let's assume that we have 5 components in our application. 5 components we have. 5 components has to use the same service basically, right? So whenever you need to access the service, you have to create the object, right? In each component. Ideally same. You have to instantiate the service class, and you have to use that service methods to access. But Angular, what it will do, out of the 5, whenever the first component executed, then this will create the object of the service and keep it in the memory. So other components, it will use that the object is already available in the memory instead of creating new instance. Okay, that is a singleton. Single object can be used by multiple components. So the same concept also Angular is following it. So if you are working on that Angular services, that means you are, knew that two design patterns. One is dependency injection, one is singleton. Okay, yeah. So I'll show you in the program how it can be useful. So to create the service, this is the command. You just need to use this in your command prompt. You come here and you just type this command, ng generate service. Okay, when you use this command, you will get these two files. I have created already. These two files it will be generated. Okay, person dot hyphen service dot service dot ts, and this is the file which we are not using it internally. It can be used. So this is the service I create. This is a ts file basically. Here you can write of your logic. So see, one thing is that if in the particular ts file in the class we have a component decorator, that means component. If one class contains injectable decorator, that can be a service. So this automatically does by Angular when you create the service component. Okay, so that is one thing. When you automatically, this will be imported automatically, injectable. Okay, so when you create this service component by using this mg generate service, automatically this body and this class and this decorator and this export import library, everything will do it by the Angular. It will do that. Okay, you're just understanding, I'm explaining you. Okay, now uh, difference between constructor and ng on. Okay, so what is that means? Ng on init constructor. So constructor will be executed when your object is created. When the instantiation is happened, the first method will be executed in the constructor. Okay, so this is a Angular component, right? So Angular components also there is some life cycle methods. Okay, in that ng on init is one. Okay, so after execution of the constructor, on init will be triggered. Okay, so when you use constructor, when you use on init, basically one object initializations, I mean assignments, default value assignments, you should do it in that constructor. Okay, in your actual programming, actual projects programming, you should assign it in the constructor, and the binding of the data to the controls, you should do it in the ng on init. That you follow up. Okay, okay, to use that services, you should know these basic concepts. That is the reason I am explaining you each and every concept it would require to work on Angular services. Okay, guys, next one. Uh, yeah, you see this. Just is it visible? Visible, right? So you see this. There is a database. This database is there in server. On the server, we have these are the components, Angular components. Component 1, component 2, component 3. Okay. I would require data from the DB to my components. I am accessing it. I built one service, Angular service. Okay. This service will use this get method. Okay. And this get method use that HTTP or HTTPS request. Okay. That request will go to the server, and from the DB you will get the response, right? And the response will come, and once the HTTP returns that response, that is called observable response. Any Angular response is written you through observable response. We'll see that how it works, observable. And once this observable response is coming to you, your service will send the data to your components. Okay, here you should remember this observable. Okay, basically, so database means there might be a services. We should use the service call. That internally service call will get the data from the database and giving it to us. That is one thing, right? Normally we should do it. So that service call is REST API calls. You know, you know that REST API calls. Yeah. So you see this is a kind of URI. Okay. So that to get the data, you will have one URI object URL to get. We have some different verbs. Verbs is like to get the data we should use the get verb. To save the data in the database you should use that post or put. you know so those are the REST address. Okay, is a kind of endpoint URL. Okay, is a kind of endpoint URL. Endpoint URL. Okay. So is a kind of using this endpoint URL, we are requesting to the some database, give me the some data through this endpoint. Uh, from this endpoint, you give me the data through this format that we will saying to that service. Okay, so give me this format. There are different formats you can expect the data. Okay, you can expect the resultant data in the JSON format. You can expect the resultant data XML format. Okay, so text format, plain text format, you can expect the data. So most of the programming, node programming and client side programming will get the JSON format of data. Okay, that all these things we can, it should be part of your call and service call. Okay, that service call can be like this. Your endpoint URL can be like this. How to call will tell you. Okay, so this is the diagram. Ultimately we are using it. Yeah. Next, if I observe this uh, diagram to get the data, how many steps are involved here? Okay, HTTP GET request, we are making the request. Then whatever the data we are receiving, observable data, and whatever the data comes through observable format, response format, we should casting it. Okay, we should cast to our need, right? We should cache to it. Then whatever the data is coming, we have to subscribe it, right? We have to receive and show it on the component. These four steps we should follow. Okay. Yeah. Now we'll go into actual concept. Do you have any services? You guys have any services which will return you JSON data? No, right? So what I can do, I can suggest you. Uh, 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 uh. So there is a online uh, page is there where you will get that service endpoint URLs. You can use them also. Okay, JSON placeholder dot typecode.com is the URL. Here you can see number of REST API calls. Okay, if I click on here, post is a kind of get an HTTP endpoint or HTTPS. So this guy is giving me the JSON data. Okay, this is the JSON data. This is the your endpoint URL, right? HTTPS. So you can use this service for your practice. If you don't have any services on your machine or availability, then you can use this for your practice. Okay, so there is a app.component.ts. Here, if you observe that earlier in the previous class, we have data here, right? In the persons, we have a data. That person name, is age, and his country. We have it. Now I remove the data here. I removed it because I shifted this data to service. Okay. So service files I have created. This one is the service file. Okay. What I have done, this service call you can make using HTTP client class object. Okay, this can be imported from @angular dot slash common dot http. Okay, okay, this is one thing. Second, to remember, to import, you use this HTTP client. Okay, once you import this, okay, uh, what I am doing it here in the constructor service call. This is the my service, right? Person service. This is my service. Here in the constructor, what I am doing is I am creating a object of object HTTP object of type HTTP client. Okay. So this is called dependency injection, right? As I told you. When this class instantiated, what does it do? First it will clear the dependency. That means it will create the object of HTTP client and it will point to the HTTP variable object. Okay, so this one, by using this HTTP client object, I am getting the get person's data. Okay, get person's data, return. This variable is there in my class, right? Here it is there, this variable. So that is the reason I made this dot http. There is a method called get. Okay, I'm just showing the IntelliSense for you guys. Is there? Get is there to get the data from the service. Post is there, put is there. So all type of methods there here. we can use them. Okay, then get is the method. This method, get is the method. This method is, right now, let's assume that if you don't have service, I don't have service, because I have shown you I use that online service. But if you don't have service, you can create one file, TS file, where you can have data, static data. In that you can call that file also as a service. Okay, that is the reason I have created one variable file path. Okay, here I have created one JSON file. That file name is person.json. Remember that. In the normally you can create that static files which contains the data. You can place it in the assets folder. So I have created here. If you come here, yeah. That one. Yeah, this one. Okay, here I created one more folder called JSON data. Here I created one file. Just I create a file like this by clicking on this. I created and give the extension .json. So here I place the data, whatever the data which we have at the component level, I cut there and pasted here in the format of JSON. So always JSON file B will be started with this bracket and closed by this bracket, and both parameter names should be double coded, value should be double coded by separating with the colon. Okay, this way you should maintain the JSON data. So I have this data here. What I am doing it here in the service, I am calling that this is the path of that service. In the assets JSON data folder, file name is JSON data. Okay, file path, and I'm calling this method get person's data with the method, with the help of HTTP objects get method. I pass this path. Okay, then it will return you. What does it return you? I have shown you, right? What response you will get? Observable, right? So even if you come here and see IntelliSense will tell you observable. Okay, but whatever the observable data is coming, okay, whatever the observable data is coming, I would require to convert into my format, right? So for that, what I created one in interface. Okay, if you come here, I create a interface. Normally we'll start interfaces with the, see, iPerson's interface. Okay, I created one interface, iPerson export. That means I am using in some other file. If I mention that export, that can be used in some other file. So that's the reason I designated with the export interface iPersons. This names should be similar to your this file, that assets, see, name, age, country, and your interface also same name you should copy paste, name, age, country. Okay, then what I am doing, whatever the data is returning through the observable of the data, I am convert I am casting into this iPerson's type. Okay, so that is the step. Then third step is what? I have done that, right? I should call this service in my component, right? Ultimately, data should be displayed in the component in your template, right? So this is my app.component. Here in the component, I'm calling that method. Okay. So to call that service, what I would require? I would require object, right? Service object I would require. How I am getting that? See, constructor, I create a variable person service of person service. Okay. This is also dependency injection again, as I told you. So here, this is the object, service of object. I am calling this dot person service get post data. That method is there in the service, which we already declared there. So this method is returning which data? No, JSON data which is I persons. I person data it will come. Whatever the JSON data is coming, is returning, it is available here, right? In the data, and this data I am assigning that component local variable to the persons. Okay, so this person I already declared here in the above. I am assigning the data into persons. Ultimately, I will use these persons in my view. I think yesterday the same one I did not change the view part. I just changed in the service part. Display is the same. There is no difference, right? This one, right? Let item persons. Same thing it will come there. So if I see the output of this data is coming, right? Okay. So if I remove, sorry, if I want to remove data, where I should remove? Person.json, right? If I remove this, okay, control C, what happened? Yeah. Yeah, it's gone. Now I'm saving it. It's compiling it, successfully compiled. Now I should only two records. Now service is calling that JSON object and observable is converted to my JSON object. I am subscribing that that data into my component variable. That component variable is rendering in template. Okay, guys. Same. This is the way you can use your services. Whatever the you will just need some services would require username and password to connect, right? So that in the get method you will have header section. In the header section you need to pass username and password. Okay, now we get this data. From where we get this data? We get it from the file, JSON file. If you don't have services, you can go with that approach only. If you have service, I use this service which I told you in the online. I use that call, posts call. I created one more method here. Okay, I created one more method. There is that. Okay, this one. I created one more method. Method name is getPost. Is returning observable. Okay, data I use HTTP get method. Okay, this get method is calling that REST API URL is HTTP JSON placeholder type dot. I use that posts endpoint. Okay, whatever the data I am getting it, I am casting into iPosts interface. I created iPost interface. What is that? iPosts. This one. Here also I created iPost, user ID, title, body. If you see that, user ID, title, body. With the same properties I created interface. Okay, I created then okay. So this ultimately I'm calling this service method in my component, right? App component. I call this method this dot. Anyway, I have already that instance of the service object. So then I call the get post method and I'm subscribing the data which I am getting, the JSON data. I'm assigning to my component local variable called posts. Posts I already declared here. Post any. It's a blank variable. I did not assign any values. Now this method is assigning the values to this post. Okay. So that data, whatever the data which is coming from there is displaying it here. You see that ID, title, post. User ID, title, post. Okay. This way you should consume the service data. One more thing. This is one how to consume and show the data, and error handling we'll see. Let's say the service level will go to service level. Yeah, this is the method, right, which I am using it. In this method, till here my method will return the data, but if the endpoint URL is not available, the username and password which you are passing it is wrong, then that service will send you that error, right? We should catch those errors using that pipe, dot pipe. Okay, dot pipe is a one method, and in this method I'm using that again. Catch error is a kind of success and failure. When you use the Ajax call, no, success and failure, you will use that, right? In that Ajax body is a kind of failure method. This is show error. Okay, show error is a method which I have declared for to store the errors. Show error is a method. Okay, this method is taking is I'm creating a variable called error response with the error response HTTP error response object. Okay, to get this HTTP error response object, we have to import HTTP error response from the Angular common HTTP. So HTTP client and HTTP error response both are coming from HTTP library. You have to uh, use that. To use that interfaces also, we have to import that interfaces in your service, because we are using this here interfaces, right? Type. So first, before using here, first you have to import that interfaces. How to import, you know that, right? Yeah, I'm not sure that. Yeah. Next one. This is a throw error and catch error. Okay. Throw error and catch error are the two classes to handle that error with the RxJS library. Okay. Here I use that. You see, throw error is a method. Okay. This is the method. Please try again later. We are working on this issue. Okay. And one more thing is this catch error. This is available whenever you import RxJS operators using this catch error. You can catch that. Here pipe, inside pipe, I use that catch error. Then here to return throw error I use to show this message, and to exact what is the error message to log, I use this HTTP error response dot error dot message. Okay, guys. Just we need to import and use it. HTTP error response, throw error, catch error, HTTP client. Okay. This is how we can handle error. Okay, just I'm logging that error. If anything is wrong with the accessing, you will get this information in your browser. Or else normally people don't like to log the errors in your console. You should use that database or something. You will have one database table. In that table, you call that service call here to log that error. That will available for future reference also. That is a good way of logging errors. Okay, that is error handling. Yeah, next one. So now we have created service and we declare a service method, and in the service method we use that HTTP client object to call that REST API calls, and the data which is returned by that service in the component we are subscribing it to assign it in the local variable. Then ultimately this service should available in that module also, right? Ultimately all components called by the module. Okay, in the module level also you have to mention this information. Okay, so module.ts, here in this providers property, okay, ng module, this is the module.ts. Here you have to provide that person's service name. That means if your module app.module.ts contains 100 components, this module displays 100 components. For 100 components, this one service will provide you the service. Okay, this is a singleton again. Okay, this single service object can provide the service to whatever the components in this module. That means, for example, if you are working on that customers components, and that customer components are there at customer components are 10 components are there. 10 for 10 components you can create one module. For 10 component data access you can create one service. That service you can mention that in this module. Like that, multiple services you can create based on your components size. Okay, so you have to mention this service. To mention this service here in the providers attribute, first you have to import that, right? That service, that import service from that file, service person-service. These steps you have to do that to work with the service. Okay guys, we have seen that subscribe to, how to subscribe, and the HTTP error handling how is done. What is the RSJX also we have seen that. Okay, that error handling, that objects is provided by these DLLs. That's all for today. So I think you can start your project now. Okay, with this information I hope you can start it. You can call your services and get the data and display. There are other methods also is there, get, post and put, you can use them in the HTTP client. But this is Angular 8. What I told you, the Angular 8, not Angular 2. Angular 2 service methods are different again. Okay. So here we imported HTTP client, right? HTTP module client is like in the Angular 2 or 4. This is Angular 8. How you see that your version NGV? Yeah. Yes, I am stopping this. Here we can come NGV. It will come. You say Angular CLI, Angular CLI 8.3.25. Node version is this one, 10.15. OS is 64. Angular 8.2. And packages also it's showing. You see this. RxJS is 6.4 point something. TypeScript version is 3.5.3. All this information you can see it. Okay, next class would be Monday. Routing. Okay. Routing is the last. This one bootstrap and routing is the styling of it. Okay, guys. Thank you. You just give me some time.